Should you back Once Upon a Line? Yeah, but I should say that there are some things that I just really don't like about this game. Before I tell you about them though, my name is Sam, this is Should You Back It, and I'm here to help you crowdfund with confidence. Once Upon a Line is a cooperative scratch-off game, more on that later, for 1 to 5 players that'll take you about 120 minutes to play. The core pledge will currently set you back £35 or $42, which I think for a game like this is pretty reasonable. The game is set in a post-apocalyptic, not too distant future where a pandemic has decimated most of the human population, which has left space for insects and bugs to fill that gap, growing and evolving into gigantic forms of the insects we know and only some of us love. The human survivors harness these now massive insects and use them to rebuild society and the world at large. When playing the game, you'll choose a hero, each with their own unique abilities and talents, and dive into the story by using something called the Destiny and Fate grids. These are in essence scratch-off cards, and as you make decisions and carry out actions, you'll physically represent those actions by scratching off elements of the card to reveal letters or symbols, allowing you to survey new places, gather objects, and in general complete quests. Now, conflict is introduced into the gameplay because under some of the scratch-off squares lie traps that, when uncovered, may force you to uncover the Line of Tragedy, which is in essence a track with consequences or punishments to penalise you for going down the wrong path. So that's a little overview of how the game plays and what it's about. Now let's look at the two parties making this game, Perte and Fracas and Lucky Duck Games. You see, whenever we back something on Kickstarter or any crowdfunding platform, it's always important to do some research on the company, see how their past projects went, see how they handled everything, just to get a sense of what our experience could be as a backer of their game. Now, the game has been created and developed by Perte and Fracas, I'm probably butchering the pronunciation, and this is their third crowdfunding campaign as they have released Ragnarok Star, I like that one, previous to this, which currently has a 7.5 rating on Board Game Geek and looks like it's pretty good fun. And they then crowdfunded an expansion for that game on a separate site. So they're still relatively new to the crowdfunding scene, but they have partnered up with Lucky Duck Games, who are much more experienced when it comes to crowdfunding. You see, Lucky Duck are going to be translating and publishing the game, and they've ran 11 Kickstarter campaigns, one of which was cancelled, as well as one GameFound campaign very recently in the form of the Destiny's Witchwood expansion. Now, I'm a 2-time backer of Lucky Duck Games as I backed the original Destiny's campaign on Kickstarter, as well as the Chronicles of Crime Millennium series campaign on Kickstarter as well, and I had an incredibly positive experience each time. As it stands, they have 2 games that have yet to fulfill, but they are pushing out monthly updates on each and have an incredible community team who do a great job at responding to comments and keeping the community informed. Now, although I say that, I'm not actually sure who will be dealing with the communication going forward. My assumption is that it would be Perte and Fracas instead of Lucky Duck Games, since they're just translating and publishing, but we'll see. If Perte and Fracas were doing this campaign on their own, I likely would have given you an amber warning as a potential backer from a risk assessment point of view. They're still new to crowdfunding, even though their campaigns have gone well and their games have shipped. We just don't have a lot of past campaigns to judge them on. But given the fact that they've partnered with Lucky Duck Games is a big green light from a risk assessment point of view for me. I think you'll have a positive experience as a backer, and I think you'll receive your game with minimal delays. But why should you back it? Well, see, here's the thing. I don't think this is going to be a groundbreaking game. I don't think the story will blow me away. I think this will be a good experience, and I think the story will be interesting, but what we're really backing here is for the novelty and the quality. You won't find many or any scratch-off board games out there, and the fact that this is what the gameplay relies upon to tell the story and drive gameplay along is interesting enough to make me want to try it. And the price point really helps that be a valid reason to back it, because without trying to sound hurtful to the team that have developed this, we're in essence playing a word search hidden under a scratch card with a little bit of battleships thrown in for good measure. We equally have board game designers here that are trying to do something different. This isn't just another typical Euro or miniature-laden board game, and I think it's important to support people that are trying to push boundaries and trying something different in order to keep our hobby and this industry fresh and innovating. But here's the thing I really don't like about this game. There are only enough scratch cards inside in order to play the game once. Use them up, and that's it, unless you want to purchase what they've called a recharge pack from the company in order to more or less reset your components. So if you want to replay it or sell it on, you're going to need to purchase these recharge packs, which are costing between €5 and €8 on the campaign. So it's not a massive amount of expense, but honestly, if you are picking up this game and you're not sure about whether you'll enjoy it, it could be worth picking up a recharge pack now so that when you sell it on, you won't be missing components. Some people on Board Game Geek have called this a somewhat predatory practice, which I think is a bit of a reach. It just would have been nice to have one extra copy of the scratch-off cards included as standard, especially when replayability is billed as being a big part of this game. And in a game like this, where you're in essence destroying one of the key components needed to play the game, knowing what the replayability like is key. Now, when it comes to the story, they do say that each game varies according to several factors. You'll unlock new upgradable heroes, discover secret zones, and that there are equally several possible endings. But without knowing these elements in detail, which inherently would ruin the narrative, it's hard to judge how good and how much replayability they will offer. This is a novel game with beautiful art that will equally boast an interesting story, and for me, I'm willing to pledge £35 for a core pledge, pick up some recharge packs, and play it solo as a little chill out game for myself. I like that Perte and Fracas are trying to bring us something new, and I want to support them in doing that so that I can see where they go next. As always, this is my recommendation. Hopefully you feel a bit more informed. If you have found it helpful, I'd love it if you could check out this video next. YouTube thinks you'll like it, and by watching it, you'd be really helping support me and my channel.